Hello, Barry Evans again with Keller Williams. Thanks for listening in on our YouTube channel. Last week we did talk a little bit about investing in Chattanooga real estate for college tuition. This week we're going to expand that just a little bit in order to add investing in Chattanooga real estate for retirement. Now we all know that Social Security is not going to be enough for you to be able to count on for your total retirement income, and so it's important that you make or take steps in order to provide for that extra income that would be needed. So where are you going to get the rest of that money? I read Forbes magazine and Fortune magazine every month and look through, and rarely, almost never, will I see anything referencing real estate as a part of a retirement portfolio, when actually, to me, as a layperson, it's probably the best vehicle for retirement income out there. Again, unfortunately, they're only pushing stocks and bonds and stock funds, things like that, and I don't know a whole lot about that, and I'd have to get another major at a university level in order to know when to jump in and jump out and know where the upcoming stocks were. So some of the reasons I disagree with that is the rate of return. When you're in retirement mode, you are looking for more conservative stocks for income. You can't afford to risk some of the speculative stuff that is going to get you a higher rate of return. So if you're sticking with the more conservative stocks and bonds, whatever, you're looking at maybe 5% rate of return, and that's really not going to be as useful as if you can get 10%, which is everything that I own in real estate is pushing off 10% rate of return and more. So there's your number one reason, because we need to maximize that return. Secondly is I believe that real estate is a lot more predictable. Even in the down economies, we've had a better rate of return from rental property and real estate values than what the stock market has done. In our last recession, for example, when the stock market was going backwards and our housing market was going backwards, our rental incomes were increasing. So it is more predictable in that way. So if you need to know that you're having $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month coming in additional income to supplement your Social Security, this is a lot more predictable, because again, during the recession, in one period of time, our rent increases here in Chattanooga were listed in the top 10 in all of the United States. But in the last 10 years, we've been listed on that list in the top 10 for rate of rental increase twice. So even if the stock market, real estate market values are going backwards temporarily because of recession or correction, whatever, that means that there's going to be a higher demand for rental property, and more demand means a better increase in rent for you. So higher rate of return, and obviously it's more predictable too. And again, speaking as a layperson, you have to be pretty smart in order to figure out the stocks and when to pull out of them. If there's some bad news coming out of China, like the coronavirus, what is that going to do for the particular stocks you're invested in? So you really have to stay on top of it. The other thing that I mentioned was the rent increases with inflation. Well, actually, I didn't mention that. I was more in line with the recession. But if you look at what rents were 10 years ago versus where they are right now, you'll see a nice increase. So you know that in your retirement years, your expenses are going to increase because of inflation. And I believe that your rents will be keeping up with that. And the other benefit is that your value of your real estate is also going to be increasing. Now, not in every market, but overall, a better average will occur with your real estate. So you're going to be able to keep up with inflation, and if you ever decide that you do need to sell, you should have a nice increase in the value of your property. Now, what about the headaches? I mean, everybody knows a horror story about the landlord problems that exist. But the best answer I have for that really is to hire a management company. A management company is only going to charge between 8 and 10%, and to not get those calls in the middle of the night, to take care of finding you a new tenant, to grade the tenant as far as their credit worthiness and background checks and everything else like that, that 8%, 10%, whatever you're paying, really is a great value, and that way you can enjoy your retirement in peace. Again, I just touched a little bit of the iceberg on this one, but do call me if you have any questions. You can reach me at the office at 664-1700 at Keller Williams Realty. And again, I'm Barry Evans. Thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful.